Look at all this time on a three-man rush. Gonna backpedal, buy more time. Gotta be somebody open now, yes? Yes, there is!
Like I said, another three-man rush right here.
Hello and welcome in. It is week 15 of the NFL season. I'm your host, Pat Bradley, joined as always by my friends and co-hosts Carl Mann and Tommy Sullivan. And this is a three-man rush podcast, America's most beloved casual NFL gambling podcast from a couple of casual NFL gamblers who all hit the triple-digit club this week.
Woo! Uh-oh. That's not good for me.
It's definitely not good news for Tommy. I don't know. Did Carl have the worst week ever last week?
Yeah, I mean, how many losses would I have had to have? I mean, a lot.
He didn't reach triple-digit wins, so yeah, it's a pretty bad week by his standards. Or
You
double-digit wins.
Oh,
You
double-digit wins. I needed 11 losses.
11
to
losses.
Get to that close.
Yep, and you only had 4 because you
Yeah.
had a nice little 9-4 week this week. So congratulations. First ever member of the Three Man Rush podcast to hit 100 wins on a season.
And
I have a
last.
feeling that perpetually no one will ever hit 100 wins first other than you. We can
No
do this
one will ever hit
podcast.
100 wins.
That would be tough for us to do because let's just get into this because Carl, you are now 107, 93, and 8 after a second consecutive 9-win week for you last week. So nice work there. 9-4 on the week. Tommy, you after a second consecutive 6-win week, you went 6-7 last week. Not as nice as your 6-9 in week 13. Although I guess it's like a better winning percentage, but same amount of yeah. All right, it's better. It's just not nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Okay. 94 wins for you. Good job by you. 106 losses.
Who's counting?
You're we are right now. And you've joined me in the triple digit L club, and I am still does this make sense? Math? Yeah, I'm still 5 games behind you, and I lost a game because I went 5-8 on the week. Last 2 weeks, just going against my gut. 3 out of the last 4. It's been a bad month for me. I had that 11-win week, talked a lot of crap, and then I've lost twice as many games as I've won basically every other week for the last month. So really good job by me. I'm 89 and 111, and of course we all have those 8 pushes on the season. I was lying to you guys a couple weeks ago when every time like we get a new push, I'm like, wow, can you believe we have this many pushes? And I was like, oh yeah, we had like 4 last year. No. We had 1 last year. 1. We have 8 this year. Pretty crazy.
Wild.
Yeah, crazy. So Carl, congratulations. If you wanna work in the confetti for yourself this week, you did it for me last week when I hit 100 losses. So maybe we get some confetti for Carl. Woo! And maybe a little bit of loser confetti. I don't know if there's a different sound effect or if Tommy, because
Absolutely, we can make that happen. Here we go. Is that like
Excellent.
Blue's Clues?
No. That was like an old game show noise.
Yeah. Oh my God. What is that show?
Because
Wow.
it ends with like another horn after like bum 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 bum.
That's
I
like
literally.
Is that
Yes.
the Price is Right when they get something, like when they play a game wrong or something?
Yes. It is Price is Right. Thank you. I was like, I can see the show. I can hear it. Yeah. Price is
I
Right.
wasn't
Price,
sick enough as a child to watch that.
Price is wrong. You're not
Bitch.
sick enough as a child, but you're sick enough now.
Yeah, I am.
Pretty tough. Kind of on the what do we even call it in football? Injured reserve, IR
Yeah.
for Tommy.
Yeah.
We don't have to get into it, but just a
Injury
rough.
report.
rough week for you. It's tough. It's
I
tough
held my
getting
nephew
old.
for a 5-minute stretch and I pulled a muscle. Let's put it that way.
You turn 30 and everything goes downhill.
Yeah.
Unless you're Carl.
Amen. No, it's gone downhill fast.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, especially for you, because you're 31, so it's rough.
I don't know.
Rough. All right. Great. Well, now that we have recapped our records for the week, Tommy, I just remember when we said we were going to band together and beat Carl for these things.
Try to.
It's not going well.
No, he's leaving us in the dust.
Yeah, because over on Dollar Bill Island, Carl had his second consecutive 4 DDBI week, which brings him up to 37 on the season, which once again has more than doubled. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's more than what Tommy and I combined. I always say more than doubled here. It's more than Tommy and I have combined. And we both got one this week. So, Tommy, first time in a month that you've gotten a Dollar Bill Island victory. So you staved off the tie with
good.
me. So you have 18. I have 17. But Carl has 37. So if you add us together, we're at 35, and Carl is still beating us.
Man.
Yeah,
so by banding together, what we need to do is when we do the primetime games, we need to let Carl go first or second and then choose opposite teams. Not band together. We need to divide and conquer so that he doesn't get these opportunities.
I'm still treating this like I have a chance to win.
Oh no.
And I don't. And really, yeah, like that's what we have to do. I think we just have to bet against Carl.
Yeah. We need to deny him the chance of an island at this point.
I see. I like the way you think. That's not a bad strategy. We totally didn't talk about this before. So now that we're talking about it live on the podcast, I like this. I like this. All right.
They don't call me the 3-limbed rascal for nothing.
Three-limbed.
Yeah, I don't have an arm right now.
I was thinking something else.
This is a family-friendly
the baby arm hurt Tommy. He doesn't have one.
No.
Kyler hurt his baby leg. I hurt my baby arm. We're brothers. Well, we were brothers in arms, but now mine is gone.
When I upload the podcast to Spotify and YouTube, I make sure to click not for kids.
Smart.
That's the way to go.
That's smarter than any of your picks this season, and you've been having a good season.
That is. Yep.
Do we want to get into my picks real quick because I ran those stats over the weekend?
Yeah, go ahead, do it.
All right, we'll do this real quick. I updated it for this week, but my worst percentage team that I've bet on is technically the Chiefs because I've picked them twice and they haven't covered for me. This is podcast picks against the spread. My worst team is actually now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Not shocking.
Actually, is that right? I don't know. But I was telling you the Ravens. The Ravens were my worst team going into last week. They had won one game of the 8 that I picked them. So it was not good, but they did win this past week, which is why the Bucks overtook them. But yeah, we were talking about like, oh yeah, you always pick the Broncos, you always pick the whatever Falcons. Kind of true. I do pick those teams a lot. The Broncos I've picked 12 total times, and they are 4-8 for me. One of the wins being this past week. So
I've got to be like, I probably picked the Chiefs. At least
I tell you, I haven't run your numbers yet, but you pick the Chiefs and the Vikings and the Cardinals every week.
Basically every week. I got to get a Viking shirt. I don't know why I don't have a Chiefs one yet. I seriously should have bought it in the preseason. I thought about it and then I just didn't spend the money. I had a really, really nice, like I was really pumped. I had a great Vikings shirt in my cart. And then what was the game they lost recently? It was right after the Buffalo win and they lost the next week. Who'd they lose to? I can't even remember, but I had it in the cart. Was it the it was the Cowboys. It was the Cowboys when they got blown out. I was like, they're going to come back in the second half and I'm going to hit purchase and I'm going to wear this on the podcast this week. And then they got blown the hell out. And that was the end of that. No Vikings gear for me. It was sweet too. I should have done it anyway, but here we are.
I think I'm going to get you like the Rob Lowe-esque NFL badge hat just so you can say you have every team's apparel.
Just NFL.
Yeah,
with my like Fire Goodell ugly sweater. I should have worn a Santa sweater this week. Man, it's Christmas time. What am I doing? Tommy, you're in the spirit.
I know. I got my hat on here. I got a little Santa hat. I'm hoping for a new arm for Christmas.
You're a little ho 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 with that baby arm of yours.
All right. I don't know if you know how time works, but this podcast will be out this week, and next podcast will be out next week. And next week's podcast will be the Christmas special.
Yeah.
You're telling me
multiple hats planned?
We need hats.
We do need hats.
I got them ready.
All right. We all wear a hat literally every single day of our lives and every single week on the podcast. So, all right, we can make this happen. If you don't watch this on YouTube,
any shout outs this week?
I know. No.
I've got none.
Shout out to people with 2 arms. I envy you. Sorry, I'm gonna stop these jokes now. I drove it to the ground within 10 minutes.
Shout out to like the
It
10
actually
people
hurts.
that actually listen to our podcast every week. We did pretty well this week comparatively in the last couple.
Shout out Christy again. she goes, thanks for the shout out in the first 2 minutes. The other hour and 38 were also good to listen to.
Christy. MVP. Good for you, Christy. Yeah, I've got the Cardinals gear on this week. I told you I'd do it. I should have done it last week. I picked them against our Patriots. Patriots blew them out. Listen, almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And we almost got to see Kyler Murray play the Patriots, but he got hurt on the third play of the game. So I guess we'll never know, but a win is a win. So good for the Patriots. I'm paying my penance here, wearing the Cardinals gear the day after the loss. Such is life. All right. And of course, don't you forget it. This episode is brought to you by the 3-Man Rush on Instagram. That's right. We're over there too, just to bother you. So give us a follow on Instagram at 3-Man Rush. Spell it out. And it's also brought to you by one other podcast in the 3-Man Rush media world, the Boston Basketball Show. It's a great basketball podcast, hosted by some people we know, when they do it.
Yep, I was gonna say, is it a hiatus or?
They were on fire, and then life happened, and I don't know, but they still sponsor us, and I forgot to do the read last week, so I figured maybe if I did a read this week, they'd have a podcast this week.
That's where I get it. That's where I get all my Celtics knowledge, and I don't know how they're doing now because I haven't heard any updates.
Listen, best team in basketball except for
worst road record, right? That's what I heard.
Best road record in the league. They're 10-5 on the road, but they could have been 12-3, but they blew it in their rematch with Golden State, and then Monday night in LA against the Clippers. And right after we finish this podcast, they're facing the Lakers with a red hot Anthony Davis and no Al Horford or Robert Williams on the court. So we'll see how that goes. If we lose to the Lakers, you might not see me on any podcast for a while. So, but yes, the Boston Basketball Show. Check it out everywhere you can hear podcasts that matter, that you would listen to it, other than the weird places. It's there. So go give it a follow. We love those guys over at the Boston Basketball Show. All right. How about we get into some football?
Hell yeah.
Great. Love it. All right. Thursday night football leading us off. It is future savior of the league, future face of football, MVP himself. Is it too late to get into the MVP race for one Brock Purdy? Because that man dismantled Tom Brady. It was the second time that Tom Brady had ever, second or third, one of those two, stats, whatever, that Tom Brady had ever played in San Francisco where he grew up.
Yep.
He bought 100 tickets to the game, give or take. And the only touchdown that his team scored was by accident.
Yep.
Brock Purdy, ladies and gentlemen.
By accident.
I mean, it was, right?
I mean, they were trying to score a touchdown.
I mean, yeah, they were trying to score a touchdown, but not to Russell Gage, who just happened to be in the right place at the right time and fell down, and the ball landed in his hands. Whoops. How'd that happen? Brock Purdy. You know what I heard? And I honest to God, I don't know if this was a joke or not. Somebody said it. But somebody said that Brock Purdy's family bought tickets to the game, but like a month ago to see Tom Brady because they're big Brady fans.
If that's true, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So it's probably a joke. It was probably a joke, but either way, whether it's a joke or whether it's true, it's amazing. So Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers, who just keep on keeping on here, weathering the storm and all the injuries. They're favored by just 3.5 points. Again, this is a Thursday night, and it's a road game for the 49ers because they're headed up to Seattle, up to take on the Seahawks Geography. I had to think about that for a second.
Wow.
I forgot where San Francisco was. Northern California, Washington, above all that.
Any part Washington outside of Alaska is literally the northernmost state on the West Coast.
You're right. You're right. Well, I had to remember where Seattle was too. Listen, when's the last time? You know when the last time I learned about you know when the last time I learned about geography was? Probably
it doesn't
never.
matter. You should know what the layout of your country is.
Catholic school education. We don't care about our country. We care about our God. That's it. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. I don't know. Probably the fifth grade and some random ass quizzes that I did at work when I was bored. So 49ers favored by 3.5 in Seattle on Thursday Night Football. Short week here for Brock Purdy. Total is 43.5. So Carl, I'm going to let you lead us off this week and make your pick.
Yeah, I like what the 49ers are doing. As a podcast, we all like what the 49ers are doing because we have high expectations for them on the season. But I'm going to go with the Seahawks here. I think they're going to cover the spread. They have a chance to win. It's at home. They're decent as a home team. There's some more game film on Brock Purdy, and obviously he's playing like, a loose cannon, which is good because you can't play conservative. But the 49ers do run their offense not through their quarterback. It's through everyone else. And they just had Deebo Samuel go down, which I think is going to be a huge impact to that team. Now all focus is going to be on Christian McCaffrey. So give me the points here. I like them to potentially win outright, but we don't have to pick that on the podcast. So I'll take the points. Seahawks, 3.5.
Really? You think they can win out? Like the Seahawks who have been on their the downward spiral of all downward spirals for the last 5 weeks.
Ever since I took them.
You literally Tommy's on the bandwagon and they suck.
The wheels fell off when I hopped on.
Yeah.
I picked him the last 3
Not
weeks.
A fat check.
I picked the Seahawks the last 3 weeks and they have not covered for me. So they're due. They're due.
I swear to God, I'm not just using the same strategy we talked about before we started picking games, but I'm taking the Seahawks as well. It's a divisional matchup, short week at home, and they're getting points from it. Seahawks always play the 49ers really, really tight. And I just think that even though I don't know if I would take them outright at all, but I just like them having points at home on a short week in a divisional matchup. So give me the Seahawks.
All those things are fair. But the 49ers have the best defense in football. And of course, Deebo hurts, especially when you have a young, raw quarterback like Brock Purdy. But laying only 3.5 points. This opened at 4.5, and I think the public agreed with you. Actually, did it? I thought it was going to be 4.5. Well, regardless, 3.5. It's just not a lot of points. Maybe it's the hook that gets us, but I'm going to run with the 49ers here. I just think when you have a team that's good and you only have to lay that few number of points, then I'm going to roll with that every time. So put me on the island. Probably isn't going to work out for me because, well, we covered that already at the top of the podcast. But 49ers, minus 3.5 in Seattle on the road, short week. I like it because Thursdays are always hard, and we always think it's always going to be a little bit closer than we think it is. And there's a lot of bigger numbers. So I was kind of surprised that this wasn't 49ers by 6. Maybe if there's a healthy, I said 4.5, I guess 4.5, but if there's a healthy Deebo, it's not a short week. This has got to be 6.5, 7 point spread probably, right? So I don't know, split the losses, Deebo, Purdy, I don't know. But I still like the 49ers. I'm appreciative that it's not a 6 point spread. So I'll take them laying the 3.5. Great. All right. Moving on. We get Saturday football this week, folks. A lot of fun. And it's fun that we have Saturday football. The games, maybe not all so much, because we have the Indianapolis Colts headed to Minnesota to take on the Vikings, who are favored by 4 points. My Minnesota Vikings. Total in that one is 48.5 points. So Tommy, I'm going to let you lead us off. Does this count as primetime? We've talked about primetime Kirk a lot this year. And and he showed up on Thanksgiving, but that's it. Does this count as prime time because it's the only game on?
I was gonna say if it's the only game in its time slot, then it counts because
That was-
all like it's not just like it's not prime time. It's all eyes are on Kirk, and he knows that.
Yeah.
So
We set that precedent for a London game earlier this year with Kirk Cousins, I think, right?
Yeah.
Or Andy Dalton, somebody.
one of
So
the two.
so it counts. It counts as prime time.
Yep, and I'm gonna go back and make that same mistake that I made last week. I'm gonna take the Vikings here. I just don't think the Colts are all that good. I feel like the after what happened last week, the public was all over the lines, and correctly so. I just feel like -4 for a team that is in the driver's seat for the playoffs right now against a Colts team that is like dog water tier of NFL teams. Only having to win by less than a touchdown, I'll take that for sure. So give me the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, do I even need to tell you who I'm going to take in this one? Because it's the Minnesota Vikings. I was hoping it would be a little bit smaller because Vegas is really like the Vikings probably should have been favored by more points in a few of their games. And they probably wouldn't have covered those games. But their spreads have been relatively low. And so they keep on covering except for when they lose. So I don't know that for a fact. I should look it up. But regardless, they're good in real life, so that's good enough for me. I'm taking the Vikings by 4. Wish it was a little bit lower. Thought it was going to be like 3 because that's just I don't know. That's how they've been disrespected this year. They're still by DVOA, whatever that is. You guys like to keep talking about this. They're still the worst like 10-3 team of all time, but by DVOA. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe Vegas is onto something, but I'm not. So I'll take the Vikings.
Yeah, Minnesota's 5-3-1 question mark as a favorite, covering the spread by a couple points, and like margin of victory is like less than a touchdown, as we know, because their overall margin of victory on the season is -1. So even though they have whatever it is, a 10-3 record, is that what they are? 10-3?
Like are they? What are they like? 0 as dogs?
Looking at it right now, not Ofer, but they are.
They were dogs against the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, they weren't. They weren't. But
they're 1-3-0 as underdogs. Losing margin of victory is 15.5, and they're not covering the spread by an average of 12.5. So,
yeah,
really bad as an underdog, not so bad as a favorite. So I'm taking the Vikings. We're all in the Vikings.
Vikes, baby. Let's ride.
Vikes, baby.
Wow.
Woo!
Skull. Wish I had that Viking shirt right now. Amazing.
Sorry, I was having a laughing fit earlier at you going when you were talking about how the Vikings should have bigger spreads than they should, and then you follow that up immediately being like, I don't think they would have covered any of them.
Listen, because
maybe Vegas is onto something.
No, because but that's the thing is like because then they can extend that spread. They can bait people in. It's like, oh, this is the favorite. Look at how many points they're favored by. But it's not enough for you to be like, ooh, I don't like it's less than a touchdown, right? Like a lot of games they were favored by like 3, 3.5. They probably could have been favored by like 5.5, 6, and people would have just hammered them because they're the favorite, and other side might have covered. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Yeah, they're an enigma, but I love them. The Purple People Eaters. Okay, so the Baltimore Ravens are headed to Cleveland to take on the Browns, who are favored by 3 points. And Deshaun Watson has been really, really, really bad, and I'm going to take him because I don't know who the quarterback of the Ravens is. So give me the Browns.
That's understandable. Yeah, J.K. Dobbins came back and had a really big game. The Browns obviously have a very well-known running game, so I think this is going to be a big-time ground and pound game. Browns are at home. They think they have the better overall rushing attack, so I think I'm going to take the Browns here as well.
Okay. I'm going to take the Ravens.
Surprise, surprise.
It's a division game.
What's their record for you this year?
Not great. Not great. Needs to be adjusted, probably.
It is the division game, but I'm taking into effect the small spread. Like, I think the Browns win this, and I think they can win by 4 or more.
Low total, 38.5.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, you're probably not wrong. You're probably not wrong. It's not prime time. This isn't prime time. It's not prime time, Carl, yet.
But it is because it's the only game on.
And
At
also, and
4:30 on Saturday.
Deshaun Watson wasn't good. He wasn't terrible last week. He improved from week 1. So I think you could see a similar, maybe not as wide of a jump that he made, but he's very clearly getting his feet back under him. And I think that just adds to the quarterback discrepancy between these two
As long as
teams.
it's the only thing under him, then.
That's fair.
All right, Carl's taking the Ravens.
We'll see if I get lucky.
Who's their quarterback?
Apparently, Brett Hundley.
The Dolphins are headed to Buffalo on Saturday night to take on the Bills, who are 7.5-point favorites. This line has already moved. Total here is 42 points. Carl, why don't you take this one away? How do you feel about the hook? 7.5 with Miami headed into Buffalo.
Who's the quarterback for Miami?
Should be Tua.
Two of these nuts. Got him.
Oh my God.
Oh, hey, Kobe. Look at they love the jokes. Shout out, Kobe. Yeah, I'm going with the Bills. They're gonna win by 10. Hook doesn't matter.
All right, I like that. Tommy, what do you think?
When you said the line moved, what was it originally?
It was 6.5. Bills by 6.5.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm actually with Carl on this one. I don't think the Dolphins have a very good pass defense. I think that they have a fine run defense, but this is starting to look like a little get right game for Josh Allen, if you ask me. It is tough because it's a divisional matchup and it's a big spread, but I'm following my instincts on this one. The logic tells me the Dolphins, but my instincts say Bills, so I'm going to go with the Bills.
Yeah, I wish it was lower. But I think Miami's got some wheels coming off. We don't know what Tyreek Hill, what his status is going to be. I mean, I'm sure he'll play. He got hurt and he came back into that game, so maybe it swells up this week. But I think he'll play.
Jalen Waddle has just like disappeared.
It's really weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the heck is going on. There's a couple of teams that you could say this for, but we always talk about this is the spot like on whatever insert talk show where someone would be like, all right, like is Tua turning into the pumpkin now? Because like in Cinderella, right? That's what happens at midnight. Like the carriage turns into a pumpkin. But everybody forgets like the scene leading up to that, where like Cinderella is scrambling for her life because she knows it's almost midnight and she's just trying to get back to the carriage so that nobody knows that she's not the princess that everyone thinks she is before it turns back into a pumpkin and she turns back into a little cleaning plebeian girl, whatever she is. That's where I think the Dolphins are right now. They are scrambling back to the carriage before everybody realizes that they're frauds. And I told you 2 weeks ago that I thought that Dolphins 49ers game could be my sleeper Super Bowl. I talked about it in the midseason second half preview pod. But the wheels are falling off. The improvements on the defense that I thought would come, especially with Bradley Chubb, not happening. Jalen Waddle's disappeared. Tyreek Hill is now hurt, and Tua looks mortal without those guys making him look really good. And don't get me wrong, Tua's had times where he has looked great this year, and it's not just because of his receivers, but Tua is scrambling back, trying to get there before the pumpkin hits. And I think maybe it'll hit this week. So give me the Bills. Give me the Bills.
Love to see it.
That is a prime fade the 3-man rush sweep right there.
I like that little analogy. What do you guys think? That was fun for me. I came up with that all by myself. It's a shower thought. Like what about before the pumpkin?
Your shower thoughts are about Bradley Chubb disappearing.
And Cinderella.
What about it? All right, game of the week here. This is pretty sad. We don't have a lot of good ones. Although I say game of the week because I just try to do it like on Sunday when all the other games are going on. Like we always usually have like a better primetime game, but Sunday matinee, if you will, game of the week. The Detroit Lions, winners of 6 of their last 7 at this point, and they're now 6-7. And they almost beat the Bills on Thanksgiving, so they could be 7-6, but they're not. Probably should have won that game. The Detroit Lions head to New York to take on the Jets, who are 1-point favorites, New York Jets. Total is 43.5 points.
Oh.
Kobe, Juju, one of you want to lead us off on this one?
Yeah, it's Juju, and he's being a little anxious baby because Kay's not here. But I'm going to take the Jets here. I'm going to take the Jets. Lions have been really good in the second half of what's already been played of the season. I guess that would constitute for some of the second half of the season, but they started off 1-6, and they're 6-1 since, basically.
Yep.
So everyone's on them. Everyone's excited to see them win. And I think that even though the Jets lost this past week to the Bills, against division, you can't really hold it against them. So I'm going to go with the Jets here. Buy low, sell high. Buy low on the Jets, sell high on the Lions.
Yeah, this is probably the best example that we have of possibly needing to amend picks, because to me, with the line as low as it is, this all comes down to whether Mike White plays or not. If he doesn't play, and they don't put Joe Flacco in and they go to Zach Wilson, then I want to be all over the Lions. But if he plays, I think that defense is good enough. Like they can have Sauce Gardner blanket Amon-Ra. The rushing game is going to be a little bit tougher to stop, but the Jets have a good enough defense that I think they could put a lid on it enough. It really all comes down to the Jets quarterback. Mike White is a gamer. Like he went back in when he probably shouldn't have last week. And I think that he's going to be available to play, and he's going to do everything he can to play. So I'm going to take the Jets in the pod, but keep in mind, if he doesn't play, I would have wanted to be on the Lions, but I will stick with the Jets.
You said it. That's exactly my thought. I'm also taking the Jets, but if it's Zach Wilson, don't love it.
No.
Lions passing attack. Jared Goff having a pretty underratedly good season. And, this is the other thing that I was thinking about. I was thinking about Jared Goff in the shower today, and I just
be careful how quick you say that. Jared Goff in the shower. I thought you said something else in the shower.
It was Cinderella, Jared Goff in the shower, whatever. Slow that down, speed it up, however you need to do in post. I think the Lions winning might be the worst thing for Jared Goff, because they're not good enough to be like good and make the playoffs yet. Although it's not out of the realm of possibility, because the bottom of the NFC is not great. But now like there's no pressure on him. And so he can be good. And I think next year, now there's finally going to be a bit of expectation on the Lions. And I just don't see him living up to that. So I don't know. We'll talk about next season, I guess. But yeah, give me the Jets for all the reasons that Tommy said. Jets. All right. Let's move on to the rest of our Sunday slate. So the Philadelphia Eagles head to Chicago to take on the Bears. Total here is 48.5 points. Eagles favored by 9 in this one. I'm going to be honest. I'm actually a little surprised that this wasn't a double-digit spread. So I'll lead us off. I'm going to take the Eagles here. I think they should have been favored by, I don't know, more than 11. I don't know if they would have got. I thought Vegas was going to say, like, let's inch towards, it's like we talk about the Vegas zone between like 3 and 6, right? It's more than a field goal, less than a touchdown. And then when you get over like that, I think there's like just different milestones. And so this is like a double-digit Vegas zone. That's where I thought we were going to be, like 11. Like it's more than the 2 scores, but it's less than the 2 touchdowns, if that makes sense. So that's where I expected us to be. It's lower. I think it opened around 8.5. It's up to 9. If you can get it before it's double digits, I think that's a pretty good bet, and has teaser written all over it. So Eagles, give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Miles Sanders has been a revelation this year for them, and the Bears have had a porous run defense. So between that and Jalen Hurts' ability to maneuver around the pocket and escape if necessary, I just don't see how this Bears team can compete with the Eagles. So yeah, I completely agree with you. I think this should have been between 10 and 11 point spread. So give me the Eagles here, and we just gave another island opportunity for Carl, which I'm dreading.
No, I agree.
go.
Eagles by like 13 is where I got it. So
Hell yeah.
Of that, we're gonna have a nice little fade the 3-man rush parlay later on in this
Yeah, we are.
podcast. A lot of agreement all around. All right, Carl's Pittsburgh Steelers head to Carolina.
Your Carolina Panthers
to take on my Carolina Panthers, who are favored in this game by 2.5 points. Total is 38.5. Carl, once again, as our Steelers fan, resident Steelers fan, why don't you lead us off?
sure. This is the Mike Tomlin spot as a dog. So give me the Steelers here straight up, but also with the points on the podcast.
Yeah, I will say ever since ever since the bane of my existence, Matt Rule got fired, the Panthers have been playing inspired football under Steve Wilkes, I will say. On the flip side, though, DJ Moore is out with an ankle injury. I don't know if he's going to be playing this week. That could be a huge loss for them. I don't really their rushing offense isn't terrible, but I really like the way the Steelers D matches up against them. I mean, is it possible if Kenny Pickett doesn't play that they call up Ben Roethlisberger just to have him like come out for a mini second retirement tour just to get butts and seats for those last couple home games? I don't know, but I'm going to take the Steelers as well.
And you said you like the way that the Steelers defense matches up against the Panthers?
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing that the Steelers defense doesn't do very well is protect or defend the run. The thing that the Carolina Panthers do really well is run the football. We don't know who the quarterback is going to be in Pittsburgh. Pickett is TBD. And if it's not Kenny Pickett, Mike Tomlin has an open competition this week for Mitchell Trubisky and Mason Rudolph, remember that guy, to be the quarterback. So there's 3 options of which we have 0 answers on Tuesday. TJ Watt came back. Doesn't really look like he's ready to be back. Doesn't really look healthy. So for all those reasons, put me on an island with my Carolina Panthers laying the 2.5 points. I've been all about the Steelers. I've probably picked the Steelers. We should look at that, Carl. I think I've taken the Steelers a lot this season, especially early and then especially of late. Middle of the season, maybe not. But I've been on the Steelers a lot, but not this week. I like the Panthers. Picked them as dogs outright. They won outright last week against the Seahawks. Tommy's Seahawks these days. And I think they can do it again. Laying the point, not a dog, but they're at home, only 2.5. Banged up Steelers who don't have a quarterback. I like it. Give me Carolina.
I don't disagree with the logic. That's completely fair.
Wonderful. Love that. My Kansas City Chiefs, we're going to move on here, are giving up 2 full touchdowns to the Houston Texans. Total here is 49.5 points. And Carl, I just want to know, are we falling for the double-digit spread trap against the Texans again?
If you want to give it to me again, that's fine.
Yeah, they've been playing like surprisingly well. I mean, relatively. I guess their defense has been playing really well. But I'm still going to go with Kansas City. I'm still going to take Kansas City. But I do think it's a close line. I have it projected at 15 and it's at 14. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't cover. But I just think that Broncos slowed down the Chiefs last week because it's a division game. It was also in Denver, if I remember correctly. So you
they
get
still
like
have a good defense.
Well, they have a good defense.
They didn't even slow down Kansas City. Kansas City couldn't slow them down. That was the biggest surprise.
They took their foot off the gas.
Well,
yeah. Oh, yeah. It was 27-0, and they showed the shot of Travis Kelce with his arms up on the bench, like laughing, like sunbathing. So,
yeah.
And then they almost lost.
I mean, Russell Wilson threw a pick 6 also to donate some points towards that 27. But yeah, I don't know. I think Kansas City's offense is just really good. If they want to put up Miami-like numbers in the first half, they easily could. So,
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to fake that I was going to take the Texans here because I took them last week, but I'm absolutely not. I think the Chiefs are hitting their stride, and I think last week is going to be a reminder for them to not take the foot off the gas. And I think the Texans are just set up for an absolute trap. They are going to get they're going to get the doors blown off of them. Last week they kept it close against the Cowboys because it's not divisional, but they know that they're the little brother to Jerry Jones's Cowboys in that state, so they get up for those games. This is not that case, so I think we're looking at like a 20 to 30 point win for Kansas City.
Well, and two things about the Cowboys while we're talking about the Chiefs and the Texans, because I just think the Cowboys have had a couple of really impressive wins score-wise. One against, not Houston. It was, who was it? It was, Minnesota, and then the Colts 2 weeks ago. The Colts, they put up like 51, however many points they scored in the fourth quarter, right? But I kind of felt like and I should have seen it coming, and I was really mad about it. I felt like there was letdown potential. I just wanted to give the Cowboys more credit than that. But they've done it a couple times now where I think like games that matter, they get up, and games that don't, they struggle. They're not a team that's going to put their foot on your throat. So that's observation number one. Observation number two is that Dak Prescott is just not good. And I think we're slowly seeing like the de-evolution of Dak Prescott this year. He's kind of turning into what Russell Wilson was the last couple of years in Seattle, which is like a too small quarterback that can't move and isn't running and doesn't feel good in that pocket. And that is his ability to move was what made him so dynamic and what made him a great quarterback. And if he can't do that, he's just kind of too small to play the position. Talented as hell, but he's not healthy, and I don't think he'll ever be the same. So all that's to say is I should have seen it coming with the Texans last week. I don't think we have the same issue this week with Kansas City. And to your point, Tommy, Kansas City just almost blew a huge lead. So I think they're going to be on high alert. I think they do want to put their foot on the gas. They're still competing now. They had the 1 seed. They don't anymore. Buffalo has that tiebreaker. So Kansas City got to get it done. So I think they're going to put their foot on the gas and take care of business this week. We all agree. So add the Texans to the favorite 3-man rush parlay.
Not to open up a debate again because I know we're on opposite.
No, Kirk's not great either.
No, not that
Okay,
one.
okay.
The different comparison, just for the facts for people listening. Russell Wilson is 5'11", 215. Dak Prescott is 6'2", 240.
He's actually 6'2".
Yes.
Why does he look so little?
And the reason that like he doesn't have the counting stats is because they're running the ball so well right now.
Well, yeah, but they're also running the ball because their quarterback sucks. Every time he throws the ball, he tries to throw it to the other team.
No, I think that they have the best running game in the NFL. But we can
That's you.
We can agree
Wait,
to disagree.
I thought the Texans had the best, or was that the Texans had the best run defense? Is that what it was?
Pass defense.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because nobody passes against them.
Well, that showed last week. That's why Dak was throwing interceptions, is because the Texans pass defense is so good.
I told you so.
They're so fresh because nobody passes against them.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
They have all this energy stored up.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I had a question for one of you about this, and I can't remember what it was.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. We're off the rails. All right, so let's move on then, because we're all taking the Chiefs. The Atlanta Falcons head to New Orleans. Yeah, this is like nobody bet this game. They're headed to New Orleans to take on the Saints, where the Saints are favored by 4.5 points. I hate that so much. Total here is 43.5. I already made my pick, so what I really want to do is ask Carl what the spreadsheet says, but Carl's been picking first, so I'm going to give it to Tommy this time to make his pick.
Yeah, I apologize. I don't mean to be crass, but this is a poop bowl.
I love this view.
Sorry, my arm hurts. But no, like this is just so bad. Arthur Smith is on record of saying he has a ton of confidence in Desmond Ridder making his first start in the Superdome. So much confidence that he thought Marcus Mariota was the better option for the first 14 weeks of the season. So it makes it a little tough. I understand why the Saints are favored here. Neither team has a lot of motivation to play right now. I'd say both. I mean, obviously they're both still in the divisional hunt for the playoffs because the division stinks. But I'm going to take the Falcons here. Give me the points. Give me the juice that Desmond Ridder could give that team, the new energy in the building. I'm other than that, there's nothing that stands out to this game. This is utter trash on both sides of the ball for both teams.
Everybody at home is not seeing this, but I keep thinking that like Tommy's laughing really hard at something that one of us said, or like a ridiculous point that he just thought was hilarious. And that's happened a couple of times. But then also there's been a couple of times where Tommy's just like in absolute utter pain. And I'm distracted because I'm like, what dumb thing did I say? And he's actually just like
Agony.
throwing himself back in pain. And I think he's laughing, but he's on mute and he's like, so
Straight up agony.
we're all playing hurt here because the distractions. I just feel really bad
Sorry.
for the pain that you're in right now.
Tommy, we're either gonna have a really good week or a really bad week. Because I'm also taking the Falcons. The only one we disagreed upon so far is the Ravens Browns, which honestly, like, I mean, you probably end up winning that one. So we got to start making some opposite picks.
No, we're good.
Wait, Tommy, I wrote this down, but you took the Falcons. I wasn't really listening because I was thinking about
did.
you being hurt.
It was good. Yeah, I mean, I said it was complete trash, and I said the only change over like the big change over the past couple weeks for either team is the energy shift that Desmond Ridder could bring. So I'm just gonna hope that happens.
All right, fair enough.
Don't do it. You got to go with the picks. I'll pull it up. I got receipts.
4.5 is way too many points to lay for a bad team, but I am not running with the narrative that what's his name, Desmond Ridder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not running with that narrative that he's going to rejuvenate this team. The Falcons were a fluke in the beginning of the season. They are not. Well, they are who we thought they were, which is a bad football team. But the Saints are too. But I don't know. First week in New Orleans, maybe that defense gets up for something. I don't know. They just almost beat Tom Brady and then lost to him. But I don't think Desmond Ridder's orchestrating that comeback. So the Bucs are bad. The Falcons are worse. I'm going to take the Saints. And I hate laying 4.5. It really shouldn't be that high. I'm kind of mad about it. But I'm taking the Saints.
Two things. I really like that you brought up how close the Saints came to upsetting the Bucs, because I feel like that was the game that they had circled. So this is like a perfect spot for the Falcons to come in. The other thing is
huge letdown game potential for the Saints, right?
Yes. The other thing is while I part of me agrees with you that I don't think Desmond Ridder can go in and do that, I think Arthur Smith is dumb enough that he's going to look super dumb if Desmond Ridder just goes off and looks like a viable starter in this league. And I do think Arthur Smith is that dumb. So I'm going to run with that and hope that it takes off.
Can we just talk about the fact that Dennis Allen getting an opportunity to coach this season, probably a little bit unexpected, and he has hitched his wagon to Andy Dalton, who has been atrocious for them. Now, don't get me wrong, Jameis Winston is not an upgrade, but he started the year as their starter and then was forced to miss time after playing through, was it 5 broken vertebrae in his back? So, he shouldn't be playing. But apparently, by all accounts, he is healthy enough to play. And Dennis Allen just likes Andy Dalton better. I just don't know if that's what I would commit my future to. Because whatever, you got to play the cards that you're dealt. And I just think at a certain point, why not just give Jameis another shot? You're gonna take shots. You're gonna throw the ball. It's. I don't know. He can throw a bomb with every other interception. Andy Dalton's just throwing interceptions. So I don't know. I just think that's really weird. I don't understand the logic of NFL coaches. Sometimes there's more that goes into it than we know about. But whatever.
I mean, yeah. Maybe they're trying to get a higher draft pick.
Or there was a weird thing. They went to London early, and then Jameis end of the week popped up on the injury report and then didn't play. And I wonder if they wanted him to play through a broken back or something happened. I think there was something fishy there because it was late.
Hopefully it wasn't a crab leg.
Or a baby arm.
And then Kamara didn't play in that game. A bunch of guys. It was something really weird. And the Saints are bad, so it never got talked about. And I just wonder, and then Andy Dalton's been the guy ever since. So Saints beat reporters dig into, maybe that's the empty the notebook at the end of the season when Dennis Allen gets fired or something. I don't
Yeah,
know,
maybe.
but
Not a bad idea.
Curious what happened there. It's a little fishy. It's a
Not a
little
bad thought.
crappy to me. All right, moving on. The Dallas Cowboys. I was shocked at this line, guys. When I tell you shocked, the Dallas Cowboys favored by only 4.5 points, headed to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Total here is 47.5. Carl, is this the biggest overreaction line we've ever seen on both sides?
Probably not ever technically, but yeah, it's not where I have it projected at. I think that this is closer to like 6.5 would be a good line. So not outrageous, but 4.5 is that weird spot where you could fall into some traps. So give me the Cowboys here, maybe winning by a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree with Carl. I wouldn't say it's an overreaction, especially because, like you said, for both sides, because I think Vegas learned their lesson about giving the Cowboys, what was it, a 17-point advantage over the Texans last week. And then, I mean, Trevor Lawrence looks like he's another one that deserves a some talk as most improved or comeback player there or whatever over Geno Smith, who came back from sucking. He looked incredible last week. Like he looked like everything that he was supposed to be, like the next number one quarterback in the league last week. That said, the Cowboys run defense is really, really good. Travis Etienne has been bottled up. So I think that takes away that one option. I do think it's a little bit low. Like I would have it at like a touchdown. So I'm going to take the Cowboys, but I don't think it's egregiously low.
The Jaguars have been bad until like last week. And the Cowboys have been good until last week. I thought this game was going to be like Cowboys. Like I overshot because I was trying to like get my guess right. And I said Cowboys by 11.5.
That's wild.
And it opened at Cowboys by 6. It's already down. People are jumping on the Jaguars. Somebody's getting punked in this game. And I don't know what side it is, but I'm taking the Cowboys, only laying 4.5 points. Just, it's right there.
I almost took the Jaguars. I'm not going to lie. If this was Cowboys by 6 or 7, I would have taken the Jaguars. But because it's low enough that a 6-point win is enough.
The Cowboys are who we think they are.
But then again, is this a game that they won't get up for because
right? Yeah, and you would think that they learned their lesson after last week, but who knows? Who knows? Listen, like the thing here is Cowboys and Eagles. They're gonna have to prove it in the playoffs because they were tied for the easiest schedule heading into the season. I do think that has benefited both of them greatly. I think with a tougher schedule, they're not sitting in the position that they are, both teams. And there's a lot of letdown potential early on. I do think they're two of the finer teams in the NFC because there's a lot of bad ones. But I don't know, like the Eagles, yes, the Cowboys should be. Are they two of the finer teams in the NFL, or is like the real Super Bowl divisional and conference championship weekend in the AFC like it was last year?
It's true.
I mean, you know what I mean? So I don't know. And I say that, and the NFC team won last year. They beat the Bengals, but they got to prove it when it comes to playoff time. So, all right, we're all on the Cowboys once again. So pretty crazy, or not? I don't know. The Arizona Cardinals head to Denver to take on the Broncos, who are favored by 3 points in this game. Weird spread here, folks. Total's just 36 points. No surprise there. So this opened as Cardinals by 1 before anybody got hurt. And then Russell Wilson looked like a cartoon. He got hit in the head so hard. He was freaking stupefied with his tongue hanging out of his mouth. It was like full Tua. Or he was like 90% Tua. He didn't have like the whatever happened to the hands. It wasn't good. Okay. Russell Wilson was not okay. And then after that happened, it moved to Cardinals by 2.5. And then Kyler Murray tore his ACL, as we mentioned, on the third play of the game on Monday Night Football. And it moved to Broncos -3. We don't know who the quarterback of the Broncos will be. I'm hoping that it's not Russell Wilson. Although if it's not Russell Wilson, could Brett Rippon help the Broncos? I don't know. I don't know what to make of this because Russell Wilson's been bad except for randomly last week when he actually was okay against Kansas City. So Tommy, why don't you lead us off here? Broncos laying 3 points at home. I don't know. Where are you going with this one?
I was going to say, Field Yates on ESPN on Fantasy Focus podcast, he's usually very good because he's plugged in with the league. He's usually very good about respecting players and not trying to trash people. But he said yesterday on the podcast that like him seeing 2 games of Brett Rippon play for the Broncos was 2 games too many. So that tells you how like Brett Rippon, like you're probably going to see Kendall Hinton play a couple snaps at quarterback. It wouldn't if he's healthy because he's also on the injury report. But they need to do something else because Brett Rippon is not an NFL quarterback at all. I would bet as a little prop bet, I would bet the over on field goals in this game because you have I forget who you have Matt Prater, former Bronco, and Brandon McManus, who are very good field goal kickers. This is really tough just because it's 2 really bad teams with a lot of injury problems. I think that I'm going to go with the Broncos just because it's in Mile High and it's a low spread, but I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, I'm taking the Broncos also. I mean, Tommy, we're just you thought you were gonna keep me off an island by stealing my picks, and turns out it's just been the opposite way where you pick and then I take it. So
you realize how smart I am. I get it. It's fine.
I know I shouldn't have sent you that spreadsheet the other day.
Yeah, no, seriously, that secret third one.
Should I go off my other spreadsheet just so we can get some different picks here?
Why don't you pull up the 4th one?
All right, let me pull this up real quick. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go with the Broncos also. Projected
Shocking.
Spread. I know, right? Projected spread 6.28.
Does that factor in injuries?
No, never.
Oh boy.
Do we have the touchdowns to toilets update? It's getting close.
I sent it to you.
You did.
Are we? Yeah.
Russell Wilson has 12 toilets in his house and now has 11 touchdowns this season that he has thrown.
And 1 pick six?
I, for one, think I agree with you, Tommy. I think we should take away a touchdown from Team Touchdown.
Oh, no, I'm just saying he's had 12 passes that have ended up going for 6 points.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. But it's a good point. But I'm on Team Toilet, so I'm rooting. I think we should take it back down to 10.
That's fair.
But if he doesn't play, that helps. That helps. Listen, it would be amazing if he didn't throw a touchdown for the final 4 weeks of the season.
Wait, what was the guy? Sorry, I'm a little thin.
No free ads. No free ads.
Anyway, he was like Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdowns and 2 were to the correct team. And he said
the toilets are shaking in their boots this morning.
Yeah.
The other factor for wait, Pat, did you make your pick? Because I have one more thing to add about why I chose the Broncos. But
Broncos.
Okay. The other thing I was going to say is that it's going to be besides field goals, it's going to be a big running game, and I think James Conner gets a lot of usage for a guy who has an extensive injury history, so that's going to pop up at some point. And they don't have anybody behind him.
It did on Monday Night Football, and then he came back and was awesome.
They cut Benjamin early in the year. They don't have anybody really behind him. The Broncos have a better stable of running backs between Chase Edmonds, Marlon Mack, and Latavius Murray. So I'll take that trio.
Give me the final score here as 19-15.
9-3.
9-3. Just 3 field goals to 1 field goal.
Book it.
I like it. Yeah. Good defense against Colt McCoy on the road in Mile High. Broncos.
That's fair.
All right. Our New England Patriots are favored once again by 1 point, headed to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. An old friend, Duron Harmon.
Oh crap! He's gonna get a game-killing interception.
An old friend, Brandon Bolden. An old friend, Josh McDaniels.
Yeah,
there it is.
Who would be so much better as the offensive coordinator of this team. we're doing the Patriots late in the podcast, so we can't talk about them for a long time unless you want to, because it's our podcast. But
this is the interview tour. We had the Cliff Kingsbury last week. See what their offense is about, see what his coaching vibes are for when he's available next season. Now we got the Josh
future offensive
McDaniels.
coordinator.
Yeah, this was just this instead of doing interviews at the end of the season, he's just going city to city and being like, "Hey, your interview is we're going to play against you, we're going to beat you, and then you can join our team next year if you want."
Is that
You
a
know
hint
what?
for your pick?
Maybe.
We love silence. Awkward
Spoil it.
silence.
Spoil it. Come on, Carl.
All right, I'm taking the Patriots,
There it is.
but my projected spread is only like by 1.25, like Patriots by 1.25, so it's a pretty accurate line, I think. But Patriots are probably. Hey, this game got moved out of prime time, so we don't get primetime Mac. We just get West Coast Mac.
I think this actually opened as Raiders by 1 and has shifted to Patriots by 1. 2 whole points there. People just love the Patriots because they don't watch them. I'm going to take the Patriots too.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
This is a complete betting with my heart because I hate Josh McDaniels. My hot take is that I don't know if this offense would be so much better. They're running a pretty similar offense.
It was last year.
They're running I don't think so.
Hunter Henry existed. Nelson Aguilar existed.
Nelson Aguilar
Kendrick Bourne existed.
Okay, that Kendrick Bourne I agree with. Nelson Aguilar, his hands have come back to what they have been his entire career this year. That's not that I crap on Patricia a lot. That's not on him. Nelson Aguilar has
Mac
bolder
Jones.
hands.
Mac Jones existed.
Who?
Exactly. Billy
Michael
Zappi's the
McCorkle?
best quarterback on the Patriots now, thanks to Matt Patricia.
Oh gosh.
Brian Hoyer is the best quarterback on the Patriots. You're welcome, Dan.
The only thing I don't think I mean
Is he on a concussion protocol? Have we even heard from Brian Hoyer? Is he live?
I think he's still on IR to be honest.
I feel like I haven't even seen him and his beautiful bald head on the sideline. Sorry, Tommy. I keep interrupting you.
No, you're fine. No, I was going to say, regardless, I think the biggest change this year to last year has been the offensive line. And who's the offensive line coach?
Joe Judge.
Matt Patricia.
Yes, he is. And I mean, like I've said, I don't think it matters who you stick under center. You're not getting time to make like Mac Jones has had to throw away the ball 2.5 steps into his three-step drop. Like there's nothing that any quarterback could do in that situation. So
Every single time.
yeah, it's really
Not to mention
really, really bad.
It's not that hard to figure out when every single play is a fucking three-step drop. It took me this long. That's the first time I said that. And
No,
Matt Patricia.
Yeah, no,
Fatty Matty Patty. You'd think he'd be a better offensive line coach. He made me say fuck for the first time. Sorry, Mom. Hopefully you turned it off by now. Fatty Matty Patty. Made that up.
we can.
Tell me what I am.
I mean, I'm sure we can talk about this later, but I'm pretty sure when Joe Judge left, was he special teams or was he?
He was.
He was
special
the
teams.
he was the special teams coach.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
never mind then.
Yeah. So sorry.
Regardless, I don't like Josh McDaniels. I really don't want him back here next year. Beating him won't help that cause, but I don't want to bet with Josh McDaniels. So this is fully with my heart. I'm taking the Patriots.
Gotta win.
You know, this is sad. Sad note here, because we found out today that Mike Leach, legendary for all the wrong reasons and the best reasons, college football coach, passed away, sudden heart attack. Hate to see it. I've been talking to you about Cliff Kingsbury maybe coming back and being the offensive coordinator. Is that on the table? Cliff Kingsbury, Mike Leach guy. I wonder if when he inevitably gets fired, does he go the Lincoln Riley route and take over like a Mississippi State job? Is that on the table? Does he go back to college? Because I think it's right there for the taking.
Also, back is in quotations because he was hired as I think it was his first head coaching job at USC, and he never coached a game there.
Is that true?
He was hired at USC. He said he wasn't going to leave for the NFL, and then the Cardinals drafted Kyler, and he left for the NFL.
I forgot all about that. Was that that wasn't a COVID thing either?
No, he's just an all-time squid.
I mean, Belichick did that too. It worked out for him.
That was one league to another. Like he specifically said, "I'm not going to do this."
I mean, Bill
then
Belichick got up there and got introduced as the head coach of the New York Jets, and then wrote on a napkin and said, "I resign, head coach of the New York Jets."
I understand that. I'm saying it's not from one team to another in the same league. Like he literally told USC because there was rumors already about it. He said, "Hire me. I'm not going to do this."
All right, fair enough.
And then
that's squiddy.
Yeah, because it was months after. So like all the other college jobs, like all the other college coaching candidates found jobs.
USC's good this year, so worked out for them. Finally, 3 years later.
There it is.
Still didn't make the college football playoff. Still lost. Did they? I don't know. I don't really pay attention to college.
No, they didn't.
And yeah, they're like 5th, which I thought. Yeah, because they should have, but they freaking lost in the championship game. Blew it in overtime. All right. Anyway, it's enough college talk. We're all on the Patriots. 3 straight games that we all agree. 3 straight games that we all agree. I'm the only one with like the island potential this week. You guys have agreed on freaking every pick except for one. The Bengals favored by 3.5 points, headed to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. Total here is 44. What I want to know is why the number is only 3.5 that the Bengals are laying, because this should be like a freaking 7-point spread. The Bengals are good. The Buccaneers are not. So clearly I'm going to go with the Bengals. That's my pick. Carl, why? What's wrong? What's Vegas telling me? What am I missing?
You're missing the greatest quarterback of all time to ever play it. So give me Tampa Bay.
He retired in January, and he didn't come back this season.
Peyton Manning.
You want to speak to Tom? I'm sorry. The old Tom is dead.
Give me the Bucks here. I actually have the Bengals winning this by like 1.45, but you know, when it says when it says they're going to cover the spread, yeah. The 49ers have a really good defense. I don't think the Bengals have that good of a defense. They're not a bad defense, but Joe Burrow makes that whole thing happen. So, and we don't even know what's up with T. Higgins. Don't get me started with that. So,
facts.
Tough.
Yeah, but like the Jets beat the Bills. It doesn't mean the Jets are a better team than the Bills. The Vikings beat the Bills. It doesn't mean they're a better team than the Bills.
Fair enough. Tommy, what are you doing? Or keep going.
Finish it up. Finish the thought.
Oh, I'm just glad to be on the other side of opposite of Pat. So, would you like to give me an island here, or are you going to jump on board?
Before I give my pick, I'm gonna just hop on a little bit of a soapbox here, and just the T. Higgins point. This is a trend with Zach Taylor, where he has guys that are injured, and then he takes them off the injury report on Friday, making it look like they're gonna play and be full throttle, and then they just don't play. If I'm the NFL, I'm especially with how much betting has been booming, I am tightening a grip on a little bit on that. Maybe looking at a fine for some good faith injury report stuff. The Patriots have gotten dinged for it before, so you know what happens.
Yeah. Oh.
Like I remember 08-09 when like literally the entire roster was questionable for the Patriots week in and week out.
Mm-hmm. Tom Brady was on the injury report every week of his career from 2002 on, with a shoulder questionable every single week.
And then they
made them stop doing it.
And Taylor's doing the opposite, where they should be on and they're not, which I think is arguably even worse.
Really weird. That guy's a nerd. You'd think he cares about fantasy football. He definitely doesn't.
Did you hear? I mean, I think I sent it to you, but T. Higgins apparently wasn't even supposed to play a snap, but he just ran out onto the field because they had him dress. Because if you're not on the injury report, you have to dress.
Yep.
Or they were dressing him to like make it seem like he was going to play all game, and then he like snuck out onto the field, and they were like, "Get the hell off the field."
and Taylor even said that they had
hamstring.
Taylor even said they had a couple designed packages for him in case. So I'm guessing that like it was just like go in if we have the ball on like the 5-yard line, and if you want it that way, like you're not going to run far to the end zone. But that just tells you that he knew that he was injured and wasn't going to play a majority of the snaps, but decided to just.
And my thought also, I don't know if this is true or not. This is just speculation, but I wonder what his contract situation looks like, where maybe he has to play a snap to be considered like active in a game. So he's like, if I'm going to dress, I'm going to get out on the field just for like a snap, even if it's going to be a running play, to like meet my incentive or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just a thought.
I'm pretty sure he's still on his rookie deal. So yeah, those are loaded with those types of incentives. So it makes sense. It's a good thought. But yeah, you are getting your island this week. I think 3.5 is a little too low. This is just one of those, like, Joe Burrow is becoming, like, if it's not Mr. January, he's Mr. December as well, because this is 2 years in a row that he is just locked and loaded and just become one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league, as he should be, because he was a number 1 overall pick. But he's fantastic. I think that they're a much better team than the Bucks. I'm wondering if this is a lot of the public putting money on the Bucks because of the whole adage of just like, oh, Tom Brady's really angry right now, and there's nobody better than an angry Brady. But he's 45 years old. This is just going to be the norm from now on. Line is too low for me. Give me the Bengals.
Yeah, listen, Brady also might have like broken a knuckle last week, so have fun with Tom this week, Carl. The Celtics are about to start playing, so let's wrap this podcast up. The Giants on Sunday Night Football, they're playing the Lakers. What do you want from me? The Giants
are playing the Lakers. Whoa, cross-sport battle.
Crazy. The San Francisco Giants are facing the Los Angeles Lakers, Minneapolis Lakers.
That's great.
And now we're going to go back to football. The New York Football Giants are headed to Washington to take on the Commanders. Commanders are favored by 4.5 points. This is Sunday Night Football. Total is 40.5. Give me the Green Lizard, Taylor Heineke. That's my guy.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to me like somebody who would have a penchant to rise up on a primetime game. I see you've laid my pick for me, even though I'm going to go with the Giants.
Got him.
I'm going with the Giants just because another divisional game. They really need this win. This is like their make or break game of the season. Divisional game, I think 4.5 is a little bit too high. It'll be close. So yeah, just give me the Giants here.
Yeah, it is too high. I don't like it. I'm mad about it.
Probably like a field goal game. So give me the Giants.
Wow.
Island. Okay. Monday Night Football. Baker Mayfield. Like, can we just object to this game? Bet the push,
please.
They should have flexed this game. Not that they could, but
I wish we could do that. All right. Baker Mayfield and the LA Rams are headed to Green Bay to take on the Packers, the stinky Packers, who are laying 7 points. Total is 39. I just feel like Carl's going to make me mad and take the Packers, so I'm making him go first.
Yeah, no, I'm taking the Rams. This line is Snoop Dogg here, way too high. And I'm going with the LA Rams. And I mean, I love me some Baker Mayfield, of course, but there's no way that the Packers should be favored by this much.
Yeah.
Also rooting against Christian Watson in fantasy because I play against John. So
yeah, I should actually redo what. Remember when I said his first game back and he had those 3 touchdowns, and I said Christian Watson's not going to score 3 touchdowns a game, guys. He's pretty much done that, so that's my bad. This is way
like the
too
Seahawks
high.
when you get on the bandwagon.
Yeah, exactly. Everything that I said is just I'm either a self-fulfilling prophecy on the wrong side or a mush. There's no in between. But this reminds me of like that midseason stretch where the Packers were like double-digit favorites 3 straight weeks, and I think went 1-2 overall straight up in those games, and beat the Patriots in overtime in the last minute. It's reminded me of that. Give me the Rams for sure.
Yeah, the Packers stink. I don't think we're going to get any more Mayfield magic, but I do think the Rams will cover.
If this was between 3 and 5 points, I would take the Packers, but it's just way too high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
agreed.
I thought they'd get a Lambeau push, and so I thought it would be 3.5. And when it was double,
so they got a Lambeau.
It's going to be 7 degrees.
7 degrees.
That's what they said. Is going to be 7 degrees.
So
does Progressive have
spread on the temperature?
The over under on the temp.
Yeah.
In Green Bay, does Progressive have like an insurance policy for Baker Mayfield getting cold and losing us a lot of money?
Oh, they can prepare you for mayhem, or is that Allstate?
That's Allstate.
I think that's Allstate.
But it doesn't matter what Progressive has because State Farm has the discount double check in case you want to go that route.
Wow! It's the battle of the insurance, and really, Allstate and mayhem wins.
It's Jake versus Flo.
We are so off the rails.
Wow. All right. We have made every.
We've made
single-
NFL history here.
We've made NFL history. We have picked every single game around the NFL this week.
We forgot a game.
What?
We never did Titans Chargers.
No.
Patrick.
Did I skip right over the? You
They're
on
not even
spreadsheet?
on here.
What the fuck? All right, so the LA Chargers are favored by 3 points here. They're taking on the Titans, who are flying across the country to LA in a game of football. I'm gonna go with the Chargers because it's only 3 points, and I don't like jet lag.
I'm also taking the Chargers. I just think that they are the better team right now.
Kind of emerging, right? Things are
Yep.
maybe coming together. I was thinking about that in the shower this week too, Tommy. Like maybe your
Put it on
Super Bowl
repeat,
bet.
though.
I was thinking about you in the shower. Maybe your Super Bowl bet
Yo,
isn't
Yeah,
too bad.
Did you take the Chargers on your sheet?
I think so.
Yeah, you definitely did. Which is good news for me because I took the Titans. Look at that.
Wow.
What a way.
Love that
little
for you.
island on the way out the door.
Which means it's time for our best bets. Quick little recap here last week. Tommy and Carl pulling away from the station. And I'm still sitting there with 3. I lost again. Carl and Tommy won. Carl's still in the lead. Every time he wins, Tommy wins. Every time anything happens, I don't win, no matter what. And Carl has 6, Tommy has 5, I have 3. So Carl, lead us off. Week 15. This is going to be tough because we agree on every single game.
I know, and I hate that.
Carl,
'cause
you
I
have one island. You usually pick your island.
My island is the Ravens, but
Mhm.
guys, I have another island here, and it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ooh. Oh, come on.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I
2 weeks in a row. Are you kidding me?
wait. Were you gonna take the Buccaneers also?
No, I picked the Bengals.
Did you send it to me?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say I thought maybe you sent it to me as your best bet. Yeah, I'm gonna go the. I'll just go the Bucks. It makes it sweeter that you were gonna pick the Bengals. So
You keep doing this to me. I'm so upset.
And now you get to choose.
Awkward silence. I don't like any games on the schedule this week.
I've scrolled up and down like 5 times looking for one
don't
that
pick
jumped
the
out.
Patriots because we need them to win, and we don't want you to pick them. How about you pick the Vikings?
I'm gonna go with the 49ers.
Okay, I like that.
It's only 3.5.
I picked the Seahawks, so I like that.
Best defense.
It's a guaranteed win on Thursday for me. Thank you.
God damn it.
Hey,
It's time
Pat's
to go.
had a couple. Pat's had a couple wins on the best bets this season.
Yeah, you're right. 3 to be exact. Sorry. Sorry, I was poking fun at you specifically because I'm still trying to stall because I don't know where to go with this. I'm between 2 teams, but screw it. Let's ride the hot streak. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs here. I'm gonna take them at their -14. We're just gonna lock it in.
I thought you were gonna take the Broncos.
I thought about
no. I've
3
taken them
weeks
as
in a row.
underdogs. No, they were underdogs the last 2 weeks. This is a little bit too different for me to ride that still.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was between the Cowboys and the Chiefs to be frank.
I was looking at the Cowboys too.
Yeah.
But 49ers, baby. I love them. Brock Purdy. All right, Carl is
Got it.
taking the Bucks, getting 3.5 points at home. I am taking the 49ers, laying 3.5 points on the road on Thursday. It's not going to work out very well for me. And Tommy is taking the Chiefs, laying 14 against the Texans. He's learned his lesson, which means he'll probably still lose because that's the way the life works.
We're going with the BBBB, the big boy best bet.
Big boy, best bet. All right. We've made our best bets after we made our way around the NFL, which means DJ, turn up the volume because 3-Limb Tommy is going to do a little bit of dance for us. So come off mute, say something, and give me a dance, Tommy.
Woo! I have to prop my own arm up because I can't raise it. Yay! It's
Weekend at
Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Love it.
All right, it's the Week 15 Parlay Partay, people. Carl, we were talking about maybe you putting a parlay together. I don't know if you have one, but
there?
if you want, we can do our hashtag fade the 3-man rush parlay.
Well, it's funny. It's funny that you have it's funny that you want to do the fade, the 3-man rush. Keep in mind, I made this based on like a parlay that I would do, and it just happened to work out. I think we're all going to be on board for it. So I've got 6 teams, straight money line: 49ers, Vikings, Cowboys, Jets, Patriots, Commanders. Now, Tommy and I both picked the Seahawks versus the 49ers, if I remember correctly, and the Giants versus the Commanders, but we did potentially think that they were just going to cover and not win. True?
True.
So you literally
again,
said the words, I think there's potential for the Seahawks to win outright.
Yeah, potential. I mean, I'm not.
Okay. That was the first game of the week. It was a long time ago.
Well, I said it. We're off topic now, but when we talked about the Rams Vegas game last week, I said I had it as a 50-50 game, and the Rams ended up winning. So the spread was 6. So 49ers, Vikings, Cowboys, Jets, Patriots, Commanders, plus 1560 odds. I personally already put $50 on it with boosted odds. So my $50 is going to give me a 913 payout because I have plus 1726 odds for that boost. But just so you know, it's been, you can't see that, but it's been bet in real life by me. And by $50, Kayla, I mean 5 cents, 50 cents.
Skittles.
Correct.
I lost all my Skittles last week, so
Trying to win back on the Celtics.
Should I contact Marshawn Lynch?
Please, if he could fund my Skittle addiction,
He can.
that would be great.
Yeah, he can. He has Skittles out the wazoo. Don't you worry.
What else is
This is gonna be a tough week to bet. This is gonna be a tough week to bet. I feel like
Very
we're on
much.
the
Oh,
same page. I got no edges.
Literally, I'm gonna count this live. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Wait.
5, 6,
You-
7, 8, 9 games. We agree completely.
There was one week where we did the fade the 3-man rush parlay. Remember that whole thing? It was
Do you
like-
want it? You want to do it again?
No. I absolutely don't want to do that again.
Took too long to edit because
It would be easier to edit now. I've gotten better at editing since then. But
amazing.
I'll-
So that's the Vikings, the Bills. I guess it's the spread since we picked them. It's the Vikings -4. It's the Bills -7.5. It's the Jets -1. The Eagles -9. The Chiefs -14. The Cowboys -4.5. The Broncos -3. The Patriots -1. And the Rams +7.
I hate to.
So 8
I
of
hate
the
to
9
be-
of them are favorites, at least.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's fade the 3-man rush. So we'd want the opposite of all of those picks.
Oh my God.
You're right. It's okay. I'm on it. We'll put it up. I'll send it to you guys. We'll throw it up on Instagram.
All
I'm
right,
such
amazing.
a fucking idiot. You just let me go. You just let me run. And I was like, wow, 8 of the 9 are favorites.
That's crazy.
Well,
they're
better
all
odds
gonna
for
lose.
everyone else because they're betting the dogs.
Probably not true because it's with the spread.
Wow. All right. Well,
And
I think that means
Pat's watching the Celtics lose to the Lakers right now.
it's time for us to go.
Good luck at your local sports book, everybody.
I love it. I should get a timer on how long I wait for Tommy to remember to say that every week.
No, I'm going through the fade parlay. Sorry, I can't even see you guys right now. I'm over here working.
I'm working here.
All right, Santa Claus.
Hey, listen, this is the busiest time of year for me.
3-limb Santa.
It's okay, I got 7 reindeer to make up for the 1 limb.
Your star quarterback elf got hurt though. That's crazy.
All right, speaking of purple people eaters that I don't like, I like the Vikings. I don't like these stupid birds. The Baltimore Ravens. Who knows who their quarterback's going to be? They're on their 3rd string. And to be honest with you,
Tyler Huntley got hurt, right?
yeah. And then who's the other guy? Because when the other guy
Dollar store Tyler Huntley.
no, but literally it was like Tyler Huntley, and then like what was it, like Tyler Hundley? Like swap out the T for like I don't know who it was because the guy came in and I was like, isn't that who was starting? And he came in as the third string injury replacement. And I swear to you, and I'm so sorry to this person, not that he will ever listen to this or care that I don't know his name, but I don't know your name, whoever you are. So I don't know if our stats and research department wants to look it up.
Isn't it Brett Hundley? Wasn't he Hundley? Wasn't he drafted by the Packers and now he's on the Ravens?
That guy?
Yeah, I think so.
He's still alive. Good for him.
Wow.
Playing football. It's amazing.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like he was a quarterback like when we were children. So who knows? He could be dead by now.
He's younger than us.
What? Wow.
He's 29.
Anthony Brown is the guy's name.
That guy, all right. So
he's Brett Hundley is the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens.
Is that true? Are you looking at a current article?
Yes.
I looked up the Ravens depth chart. Oh, Brett Hundley. Why did it say number 3 on the depth chart is Anthony Brown? Is that
what kind of research am I doing over here, guys?
Because he probably is number 3 on the depth chart now because Lamar's out.
Yeah, but I have Lamar Jackson, Tyler Huntley, and then Anthony Brown.
Nope.
I believe you. This is how messed up their situation is.
Yeah. So
Brett Hundley, starting quarterback.
Who?